Hello and welcome to SpyHards Podcast, the greatest spy movie podcast in the universe. I'm Agent Scott.
And I'm Cam the Provocateur, respecting the threat of the whip, wielded by a master.
I mean, when that line was uttered, you were just writing it down furiously, weren't you?
I was, and I was also like, this is the only good thing to come out of this movie for me.
Is it just bringing back your whip training from your Batman 2 days?
Boy, howdy did it take me back to that magical time.
Yeah, we should crack the whip on this film.
Yes, we've been journeying with the Uncle guys for a while now, and I think that's about what's in store at this point.
You know, I was so excited when we started this journey.
Yeah.
You know, walking into Del Florius for the first time, going through the back doors and finding the Uncle headquarters and just seeing all the people with their badges on, just being like, this is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I get here and I just hate everything with a burning passion. And, you know, I don't like anything to do with these people anymore. I have to say, I think this is the first time we've done an 8-film run. Like we did 4 Mission Impossible films and took a break, and we're gonna come back and do the other 4.
Yeah.
Like we did, I don't know, Sean Connery's 7.
Yeah. Well, that depends what you consider to be Sean Connery's 6 or 7.
7. It's 7, Cam. Don't start.
Okay.
I will fight you.
Okay, fine.
But yeah, it's such a shame. And I also read this episode that became this film is the finale of the show as well.
That's right, yeah. And this also isn't the end.
Well, I think maybe that's a discussion we tackle at the end of the show.
Yeah.
This is the end of the 60s run of Uncle films.
It is, and much was said about how like season 4 was this corrective for where the show had been going, and I am a little behind on my watching, so I haven't watched season 4 yet. I'm in early season 3, but I have seen all the 2-parters now, which span across the whole run, and I gotta say, I think I prefer season 3 to season 4.
Oh, controversial. You might get some, I don't know, some little robots thrown at you or something like that.
Well, like 3 is just full camp. But like when I was watching these movies, the season 3 ones, I was taking copious notes. There's all this, ridiculous fun stuff we were laughing at. You had Kurt Jurgens' ski chalet, all that sort of stuff.
Sexy Jurgens himself, yeah.
Exactly. And when we've watched these season 4 ones, they feel stripped down to not even include any sort of banter or camaraderie between the 2 leads. Like they just feel like we are focused action stories, like almost removed from personality.
Yeah, and like I feel like the budgets have been stripped back a little bit as well.
Oh yeah.
Like, especially, it wasn't so bad in Helicopter Spies because there was some like big stunts.
Sure.
But this film that we're about to talk about, like, wow.
Yeah.
And also we hear it from you guys as well. We know you're getting a bit tired of the Uncle films, but I think you can appreciate that we can't say we've tackled every spy movie ever if we skip one.
Exactly. Yes.
We haven't got there yet, but we're aiming to. And that's a valiant thing to try and do, even if we fail miserably.
Which we so often do.
Right.
We are frequently like some of these season 4 2-parters.
We fail you at home, we fail each other, and we fail our parents.
They're listening right now. Sorry.
Yeah, well, I think it's time to talk about it, Cam. What on earth, if it's even on earth, are we talking about?
We are talking about How to Steal the World, the 8th and final Man from U.N.C.L.E. film, aka 2-parter, turned into a theatrical feature, although some of the earlier ones weren't 2-parters, they were single episodes, but this is getting convoluted. Nonetheless, the last of the 1960s Man from U.N.C.L.E. films.
And there are people at home pumping their fists that it is the final one.
Yes.
So, for the last time of the 60s run, here is your synopsis. How to Steal the World. Uncle Agents Napoleon and Ilya in their most thrilling adventure.
Well.
Is it?
Well.
I'm so tired.
So were they.
Yeah, they were. Secret agent Napoleon Solo fights to stop a top secret plot to conquer the world. Which I think that's a synopsis for every Uncle episode.
Yeah, that pretty much sums them all up, yeah.
It's fascinating to watch, almost from a peripheral stance, the rise and fall of an empire.
Hmm.
And I feel like I have watched it with these films.
I mean, having watched, the first 2 seasons and a little bit of season 3, and then obviously all these two-parters, like the difference in quality between season 1 Uncle and that which comes after is staggering. Absolutely staggering. Because I think season 1 Uncle is incredible, like fantastic spy storytelling done on TV. And
Yep.
the stories are inventive. They change their tones. Some are comedic, some are more serious. The performances are on point. It pulls you into that world and is like just effortlessly cool. And then it just gets campy or whatever it's doing in this, fourth season.
And I feel like, I know there were changes behind the scenes, and I'm sure if Bill was here, Bill Koenig was here to tell us all of the information. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit about it in behind the scenes.
Yeah.
There was showrunner changes and stuff from the first season all the way to here.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that was sort of political in the sense of, and also like budgetary.
Yep.
And the scope of the show changed. They wanted to just make it formulaic
Mm-hmm.
at some point, and because that's what a lot of it worked. People had expectations of what an Uncle episode would be, and they had to meet that. And I feel like almost the first season, from what I saw, was like the art house version of The Man from Uncle,
Mm-hmm.
and then like season 2 through 4 is the commercial version of A Man from Uncle.
Season 2 is kind of the streamlined, still entertaining version.
Mm-hmm.
Although you start to notice that some of the stories really sag.
Yeah.
When they aren't working, they really feel like, okay, we are really dragging out this story past its finish date.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to like season 3, it's just like, Batman's popular, let's do that. And then season 4 just feels confused to me because, we watched the Helicopter Spies, which, by the way, why was this one not called the Helicopter Spies? I think they're in helicopters more often than they were in that film.
And the one
But
before Helicopter Spies, they had like a whole fleet of helicopters in that film.
those were gyrocopters, though.
Excuse me, sir. I think you'll find they're gyrocopters. Bugger off.
But you look at this one and the Helicopter Spies, and it's like, it seems like Ilya and Napoleon hate each other. They barely acknowledge each other. I don't even think they were writing any dialogue for the two of them to even acknowledge each other half the time. And so you really sit there and watch it going like, did these two actors just actively dislike each other? Maybe they did, but it really comes across that way.
There's no energy in their scenes together.
No.
And this film doesn't even do the thing that I used to complain about with the earlier films, that like splitting them up. Like they're together for most of this, but they're sidelined for most of this.
It's packed with characters, that's for sure. But even when they're together, maybe they do a head nod to each other, things like that. But where's the like banter? Where's that sense of, two professionals who enjoy each other's company? That's all gone.
Yeah, all those slash fiction writers that we learned about in our last episode probably don't reference season 4 very often in their fiction.
Well, this is after the breakup.
Ah, okay. Like it's like you're forced to live together because you have a mortgage, but you don't like each other anymore.
This is the cautionary tale of dating someone you work with.
Oh yeah, don't shit where you eat, kids. It's never a good idea.
Exactly.
Have you ever done that?
Yes.
Did it end well?
No.
No. No. I didn't actually end that badly for me, I have to say. Well, I'm not married to her, so
it wasn't, the end of the world or anything, but it was just like, okay, well, now this is awkward.
Yeah, it's the awkwardness that like really kills it. Unless like it was a really bad breakup. But I've never had like a raining fire breakup.
No, I haven't either.
That's probably because all my partners didn't care about me all that much to want to rain fire on me.
They were like, what, we're still together? Oh.
You're still here? Oh.
Yeah.
Their ultimate vengeance is me having to walk and sit through all these Uncle films.
That was why you got broken up with in the first place.
Yeah.
You kept forcing them to watch Uncle films.
This one's got helicopters in. They all do.
And you're like, those were gyrocopters in the last one.
Excuse me. We're getting a divorce. Oh. Well, okay. Let's do this. What's the story behind Stealing the World?
Okay, so this is the stitched together film version of The Seven Wonders of the World affair, which aired January 8th and 15th, 1968. And this was the ending of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. on television. And it, as I said, aired in January. This was a mid-season cancellation as well. If you look it up...
Oh, it didn't get a full season run. It was a half season?
No. Most seasons are like 20-something episodes, and
Yeah.
season 4 is 16 episodes.
Oh.
Ouch. Yes. Yeah, the ratings never really recovered from season 3, and so they decided to bring down the axe.
Channel D as in done. Dunzo,
Yep.
done for.
Channel disappointed.
Oh, that was it. That was what I wanted. Thank you for being more intelligent than me.
Yes, yes. So this was written by Norman Hudis, or Hudis, I'm not exactly sure the pronunciation. London-born writer, began his career as a publicist in the late 40s.
Don't blame this on us.
Before shifting to writing duties in the mid-50s, first off with a BBC Sunday Night Theater episode, and then he just wrote a whole string of studio programmers. He did, crime thrillers, mysteries, adventure yarns, all that kind of stuff. None of these movies are really remembered. But in 1958, he ended up co-writing Carry On Sergeant and went on to do Carry On Nurse, Carry On Teacher, Carry On Constable, Carry On Regardless, and Carry On Cruising.
Yay. I wonder how many of those Valerie Leon was in.
I am not going to go through the IMDb page right now to figure that out, but I'm going to assume at least one, right?
It has to be a little SpyHards crossover there.
Yeah, I think the last one was 1962. I don't know if she was gone by then. I guess she would have been.
I don't know if she would have started them by then.
No, I don't think she would have, actually.
No, she's not as old as you, Cam.
No, she would have been like a young teenager, so I hope not.
Carry On cradle robbing, if you know what I mean. Oh.
He also created the TV series Our House, which ran for 39 episodes. He wrote 4 episodes of The Saint. Joined Uncle in season 3 with the Yo Ho Ho and a Bottle of Rum affair. And he wrote that one. The Five Daughters, which became one of the films. I'm having a moment where I am trying to...
Karate Killers.
It was Karate Killers, that's right, yeah. And then he wrote 3 episodes for season 4, including the finale. But this guy, just total TV veteran, wrote on tons of shows, including Beretta, The FBI, Hawaii Five-0, Chips, and many, many, many more.
I could do with some chips and a bottle of rum right now.
Yes. It's interesting, though, that he was working on season 4, which was the season that was attempting to right the ship, when he was brought in season 3 to write campy episodes. So it was kind of like, keep a lot of the same writers and just change the tone, guys.
Yeah, just make it better. Do better work. Yeah, that'll fix it. But, I mean, we're not doing the eulogy on Uncle. Maybe that's a roundtable episode for the future when we do like an Uncle special in a couple of years' time when we've had time to decompress.
Scott wants an excuse to go back and watch the films again.
Oh, I'd have to do that, wouldn't I, for that?
Which he would 100% have to. Definitely have to.
To remember them, I think I'd have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you tell me what happened in One of Our Spies is Missing?
One of Our Spies is Missing. It's the one that was mangled in the edit. I remember there was like the machine. There's the cat. It's the one with the de-aging machine.
I'll take your word for it. I know that it stars Vera Miles and Maurice Evans.
Yep. Maurice Evans gets younger, yeah.
There we go.
And like the bad guy dies from the exploding machine, de-aging machine.
Isn't like Jimmy Doohan in it for a little bit? Is it that one?
Yes. He's like playing chess against I think the villain, maybe?
Yes. Okay, it's coming back to me. It was last year, I think, at this point.
It was a while ago. And so the director of this film was Sutton Roley, who was a Pennsylvania-born director and occasional writer, who, after a 1952 writing credit on the TV series Lights Out, directed a 57 episode of Highway Patrol, and that starts him predominantly as a director, and he directed shows like Target, Have Gun Will Travel, Wagon Train, 12 O'Clock High. He did 15 episodes of Combat, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, and Lost in Space. He directed the season 4 premiere, the Summit 5 affair, and then returned at the end of the season to direct this 2-part finale.
Bully for him.
He would go on to great success, though. He did, again, another big TV veteran. He did 5 episodes of Mission Impossible, 16 episodes of Mannix, and 5 episodes of Starsky and Hutch and Airwolf.
Now, Airwolf I enjoyed as a kid.
I never saw it.
I recall it having a very cool theme tune.
It had helicopters in it. Did it have spies?
It had more helicopters in it than the helicopter spies had. But frankly, most films do.
Was that show on the same time as Blue Thunder? Was there like competing helicopter shows?
There was I think it was all in the wake of Top Gun.
Okay.
And also Top Gun and also Knight Rider.
Right.
Because they're all like smart vehicles.
Yeah, because there was a film called Blue Thunder in, I think it was 84, and it was Roy Scheider in a high-tech helicopter. And I don't think it was that long before the TV adaptation came along.
Okay. I don't know what came first, but Airwolf was kind of big here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, Airwolf was popular here.
I think I'm humming the theme tune in my head right now, and I'm not going to sing it.
Okay, well, thank you. We all send our thank you to you for doing that.
Kind regards.
Originally, this was supposed to be a single episode, not a 2-parter, but due to the impending cancellation, exec producer Norman Felton declared, make it a double, and let's get one more movie.
Cha-ching!
I made up that quote, by the way. He didn't actually phrase it that way, but I like to think he did.
Let's suck it to him. Yeah. But they did do the whole, like, turn it into a double episode just to try and get a little extra stuff.
Yeah, this one, though, they didn't shoot anything extra.
Yeah, well, it's bang on 90 minutes, which I think is the first time it's basically the length of 2 episodes.
Yeah, whereas, like, the previous ones, even if they didn't shoot much, there would be something to make it, like, a little sexier or, like, a little more violent. There's nothing added for this one.
The only thing I'd say might be different is because we get that. Because in the last few Uncle films, they've got like protracted fight sequences at the start that are all like slow motion.
Yeah.
I imagine in the actual TV episode, that's probably just played out.
Yeah, they did do a little bit of the slow-mo action at the start of this one with the credits.
Mm-hmm.
When they were showing that, like, in the, in the TV episode, that's not a credit sequence. That's an action sequence. So they do some slow-mo there.
Okay, I was right. That's fine.
Yeah. A couple other notes. The yacht featured in this film, the Wild Goose, was a former minesweeper in World War II that was owned by John Wayne and was also used in The President's Analyst.
What? I've already forgotten. When was there a yacht?
It was when they went to track the missing scientist, Ilya and Napoleon. They landed on the yacht and they got knocked out and woke up with the yacht abandoned.
Oh. See, I have that as more like a rigger or a tugboat or something. I wouldn't have put that down as a yacht.
Well, John Wayne disagrees with you.
Oh, well, I dare not disappoint John Wayne.
That's right.
Not again.
That's right, partner. And this premiered in London on July 11th, 1968, and rolled out through Japan, Mexico, and Europe through 1969.
I wonder if it actually had a premiere.
Do you think it would have at that point?
I don't know. I mean, premieres make them money.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did then, though. They do now.
I mean, it's also like the film version of a TV series that's like canceled. Like, is that a big deal? It feels it's on fumes in terms of being a theatrical feature.
Yeah. Is it the fumes that they're huffing in this film?
Maybe. But I just feel like if you were to like stitch together the 2-parter that ended a show that basically, was inauspiciously canceled, then I just don't know that there's a lot of excitement about that.
The press junket would be absolutely hilarious, though.
There's no press junket. Get out of here.
Excuse me, Mr. Vaughn. So I'm from the BBC. We're really excited about the film. We're looking forward to seeing it today. What are your thoughts on the future of The Man from U.N.C.L.E?
From what I have read, he was fine with it being over.
I see. I was going with the voice and hoping you would do some improv with me, but you just went with the straight
I
facts.
did.
So okay.
I did. This is the behind the scenes. This is Camtown.
Okay. There's no fun
There's
here.
no fun.
It's just info.
This is where fun goes to die.
You mean How to Steal the World, right?
So the top 3 for the year. Number 1 was Funny Girl, the Barbra Streisand film. Number 2 is 2001: A Space Odyssey, and number 3 was The Odd Couple. The financial information for this film is gone, if it ever existed.
There are moments in time when like films move on.
Yeah.
Like Jaws in 75, or like, Born Identity, 2001. 2001: A Space Odyssey is coming out the same year as this, and this dares to call itself a film.
I know. The difference in effects is pretty jarring.
Yeah. I mean, there is a budget difference. I hear you, folks. I'm being unfair. I hear you, folks. Stanley Kubrick is much more of a visionary than Sutton Roley.
How dare you?
The man behind Chips and Taggart, or whatever the fuck he just said.
Do you think the cameraman yelled "rolling" when the camera was rolling?
I was going to start doing some Limp Bizkit for you all, but again, there's no fun allowed in this section.
That's right.
Camtown, baby.
So I did put together a note as to what Robert Vaughn and David McCallum did right after the show was over. Like how the two of them kind of segged into film and TV careers. So Robert Vaughn did pretty well, actually. He had Bullet the same year as this film, and went on and did the war film Bridge at Remagon, and also the Shakespeare adaptation Julius Caesar. And that's basically in 68, 69. David McCallum struggled a little more. He did the sexy cop thriller Soul Madrid with Stella Stevens, who of course is in The Silencers.
Okay, recognize the name, sure.
He did the war film Mosquito Squadron, which I've never actually heard of. And he did the World War II survival romance film The Ravine.
It sounds like that's where his career was heading as well.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like he ever clicked as a leading man in films. He did a number of movies, tried a few different things, but really found big success much later in life on NCIS, where he played Donald Ducky Mallard and was in 458 episodes.
Oh, right, yeah. And of course, he was making money from being sampled by Dr. Dre.
Of course. He's one of those actors, though, who worked like straight through, like his whole life, and popped up in all different projects, but never clicked as sort of a theatrical leading man or crucial character actor type like Robert Vaughn did.
And for all intents and purposes, for what we hear, you kind of wish it happened the other way around, if you know what I mean.
One sounds perhaps a little more pleasant than the other, but and of course, U.N.C.L.E. would remain dormant until 1983, when we would get Return of the Man from U.N.C.L.E., the 15 years later affair. Stay tuned, folks.
Which we're doing next week, right, Cam?
Yeah, cancel everything. You wanted Moonraker? You're getting this.
Suck it.
Yeah.
Enjoy. We have to watch him. You have to listen. Any more for us, Cam?
Nope. That wraps up the behind the scenes, and I guess all of the behind the scenes on the Man from U.N.C.L.E. TV movies that I will ever cover. Actually, that's not true. We've got Return of the Man from U.N.C.L.E. But in terms of the 60s stuff, done.
Okay, Cam, we're opening Channel D for the final time for the 1960s.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to talk first?
You go for it. I just had my little party in Camtown for the behind the scenes, so you get the first crack.
The folks love being in Camtown.
They do.
They can't get enough of it. How to Steal the World. Do you know the definition of the word windjammer?
No, I don't actually.
It's the agonizing scream of a trapped turd.
Okay.
And that's what this film is.
Mm-hmm.
It is the dying breaths of something. It is truly abysmal. When you think of where we've come from to where we've ended up, in the space of about 4 years, or give or take, it's like watching something nosedive. And I've had a front row seat.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just disappointed. There's nothing here. There's no new ideas. There's no spectacular sequence that I can recall. There's no real big performance except for one person who's trying. The rest of the cast are sleeping, including the leads. You know, it's the complete opposite of To Trap a Spy. And just to think we've gone from a knock list inductee to putting one of them on the disavowed list. And I don't know how we'll do it with this one, but we'll get there. And I just sat through it just thinking, like, nobody wants to be here. So why are we here?
Yeah.
And I just think, like, and in terms of, like, from a more meta discussion, what a horrible way to end the show.
Oh, yeah. I mean, famously, with the original Star Trek, the final episode, Turnabout Intruder, is a real dud of an episode. But I was really questioning, I think that might be a better finale because at least, like, you have a lead actor who's still swinging for it.
Yeah, and he is swinging in that one.
Oh, boy, is he, in wild and woolly directions. But, here, you don't have that same level of commitment.
No. And, like, at least with some of the other Uncle films, there were, like, weird things we could talk about, like you said, especially the Series 3 ones, like Karate Killers. Bonkers.
Yeah.
You know, Kurt Jurgens and stuff like that. Telly Savalas is like an Italian stallion.
Mm-hmm.
The only person here is trying, and we'll talk about, is Leslie Nielsen.
Sure, yeah.
He's doing something. And I just think, like, no wonder the ship sank. Because it's out of fuel. They have nothing left to say. And perhaps it was the time to die.
Sobering. Sobering.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I could go. We'll talk about the pluses and the minuses for sure. But, like, overall, it went down completely painlessly. But it gave me no emotional reaction apart from just like, well, that's a horrible way to end. And, like, we got told by a couple of our guests on these Uncle episodes that it gets better at the end.
Right, yeah.
Especially about, like, helicopter spies. But I assume that kind of carried onto this a little bit as well. And nope. It's been an inverse trend from good to bad.
Yeah, like you could look at one. I'm completely blank on the title at the moment, but the one where there was 2 Napoleon solos that was a 1-hour episode stretched to a film.
The Spy with My Face.
That's right. Yeah. Like that one, it didn't really work, because it was a 1-hour episode stretched, and it didn't feel as confident as To Trap a Spy.
Mm-hmm.
But you go like, like at least it was kind of fun, and kind of silly. This one has the same problem I thought as Helicopter Spies. I didn't hate this to the level I did One of Our Spies is Missing, which just actively butchered the episodes it was drawing from. This one was just such a complete like exhale of zero energy. It just felt like sluggish throughout. The actors, as we said up front, have like no chemistry. They aren't really acknowledging each other. It really feels like they're just cashing paychecks in this one.
Mm-hmm.
And the villains are really dire, really boring. Like that's the problem is like when you have villains that you just sit there and go like, oh my God, like they bring nothing. Like you go back to like Janet Leigh as like, this like killer vixen lady, or Jack Palance as this kind of fastidious, megalomaniacal, lunatic. Think of the personalities coming off of your villains. And in this one, I don't think there's one personality among all of them, with the exception of Leslie Nielsen, who's not really your main villain. He's sort of more of a henchman type.
Yeah. And then, like, the film makes random cutaways to, I think who are the chaps? Peter Mark Richman and Eleanor Parker as Mr. Webb and Margita Kingsley sat in a room of Thrush headquarters just making oogly eyes at each other for about the whole course of the film until they turn up at the end and die.
They're just waiting for something to happen. And, you have him set up, Webb especially, at the start of the film where it's the shootout, which I initially thought was a training exercise because it looked really fake. And then I was like, oh no, this is supposed to be dangerous and real. Oh, okay. But you have him set up there, and then to have the two of them just sitting in a room doing variations of, boy, it's really hot in here. Boy, it's really cold in here. boy, it's really bright in here. And then like making googly eyes at each other. You're like, they had nothing. They had nothing to do with these two characters. They did not
Nope.
think this through. The idea of kind of the villains that come in, this kind of stealth takeover at the end, there are far smarter ways to do it than this. This is
Mhm.
just dire stuff. And the filmmaking in this is often terrible. The camera will shake wildly in like action scenes and stuff like that, but it's clearly not an intentional Bourne-esque choice.
I will bite back. I actually want to. The cinematography is something I want to talk about in my likes section because there are some actual interesting like camera angles they use in this that actually stood out a little bit to me.
I know what you're talking about. That's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to a lot
Okay.
of the time the camera is actively shaking as
Mm,
if like someone is like tripping while they're trying to film something. It's
right.
bizarre. There is bad dubbing throughout. Sometimes
Terrible. It's one at the start with like Kingsley and someone else where like it's clearly not them even talking.
yeah. Yeah. Uh
Yeah.
there's some terrible sound.
Well, do you remember? Do you remember the one at the end where it's Napoleon and Ilya, and he sends Napoleon to go get the truck,
Yeah.
and Napoleon says something completely different.
Yes. Yes.
I actually went back and replayed that because it's like usually you do like a cutaway shot when you have an overdub, so like you don't see the mouth moving, but they didn't have another shot because they didn't do another shot, so they just had to look at Robert Vaughn's mouth moving to completely different words.
I know. And then there's like moments where the audio just sounds like garbage.
Yeah,
Like I don't know if they just didn't record properly and decided not to do ADR. They were just like, ah, good enough. We're wrapping it up anyway. Who cares?
but it's just for the Brits anyway. Who gives a toss?
And then there was just like shots that were out of focus as well. Where you go like, boy, people were just like packing up that day. They were like, oh, we still got to shoot this thing. Crap, let's do it as quick as we can. We got to go.
It's really I think deflating. I use the windjammer analogy because that's sort of a sense of a deflation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I refer to this as a windjammer. You can refer it. It's deflating. It's disappointing. We're both on the same page. It's just sad to see, and I feel like I know there was from hearing from guests and doing a bit of reading there was animosity between Robert Vaughn and David McCallum.
Yeah.
It's the classic Bill Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, the lead and the second become co-leads,
Yeah.
and there's animosity. Um, I don't think you could ever say you saw that between Kirk and Spock on screen.
No, and I don't think Nimoy and Shatner really were at odds with each other on
They
the
did have
show.
moments, from what I've read over the years,
They definitely did by the end, for sure. But yeah.
especially in contract negotiations. But the lack of chemistry and the animosity is in abundance in this film, and like you'd think one of them would take this as an opportunity to like I don't know, well let's just outshine the other one. This is our last episode. Let's go for it. Nope, they do not care. There are like lazy running sequences. Like they're basically not emoting when reading lines. It it is really a rough sit.
You do have that moment where Napoleon like tries to appeal to that table of scientists. Um it feels like Vaughn is trying a little bit there. Like he's trying to sell that, but beyond that there's not much.
Well, there's like a moment where they're lined up to be in a firing squad,
Yeah.
and you could do all kinds of funny things with that. They just stand there with their hands in their pockets.
Yeah, they weren't concerned, were they?
Nope, they did not care. And there's a couple of Deus Ex Machinas in this film that they get saved at the
Oh, of
last
course.
minute. But I put that down to it just being an uncle episode.
But you also have David McCallum paired up with Tony Bill as teenage Steven in this.
They really seem to love Teenage Steven, by the way.
Boy, do they.
Oh.
They had to like wedge him into this thing to make it work, but well, it still doesn't work. But they really wedged him in there. And here you have like McCallum and him together for extended sections of the film, and there's like no chemistry whatsoever. And McCallum is giving him nothing at all, at all. And you know, Steve is really going Jiminy Jillikers, so he's trying to kind of get something, but oh boy, oh boy.
Let's do the likes because there's got to be some things that work.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, I have to give credit to Leslie Nielsen. That scene where he's like gassed out at the
Yeah.
end and he's like trying to escape, That's a very physical scene for an actor to do, and he's throwing himself into it. Unfortunately, I, as a viewer, was very much like him after the gas sequence.
They sped up the film, which is never a favorite of mine, but like it kind of made it seem more frenzied.
Yeah, it wasn't super cranked. It was just like a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. But like watching him thrash around in that thing, I'm like, wow, that's actually like pretty effective. And especially the guys down below just giving the shrug emoji.
Yeah.
Like, oh, what do you want from us? But I thought that was fun, and I thought his performance was fun. It just felt like something though that, again, like a lot of elements of this, wasn't particularly well thought out. It's like you bring in this guy to oversee the security of this operation. He's obviously a little bit of a loose cannon and has an approach that is, I think they say, like merciless in achieving mercy, something along those lines. But like, what do you do with him? You just kind of defang him very quickly. He is going to shoot them, and then the leader of it, Dr. Robert Kingsley, played by Barry Sullivan, is like, "Hey, don't do that. Put them in prison." And he's like, "Well,
what are you gonna do?"
Okay, what are you gonna do? It's not like he takes over. Like if he took over the operation,
That I thought that too. Like that would have been an interesting twist. Like he shoots Kingsley. He's like, "Nope, I'm in control now. Your scientists work for me."
yeah, like
He's stealing the world.
get rid of Webb and Mrs. Kingsley, and have like Leslie Nielsen be the one that tries to take over at the end.
Yep.
I mean, it wouldn't eat up screen time the same way, but
No, but it would be more naturalistic. It would seem like it was a thing that people would do.
Yeah.
You're bringing him as this like rabid dog general, and he doesn't get to do anything.
No, and even like his end is kind of like okay, it's just him like at the end being led onto a plane.
Yeah, it's like, don't worry, folks. He'll get all the help he needs. In the name of love.
I did like the moment though when Robert Kingsley's like, "Hey, General, shoot them," and he's like, "Bang, bang," takes down,
bang. Like, it doesn't even phase him. That was nice.
Yeah, it takes down Webb and Mrs. Kingsley, which was again like setting them up as like the people that are gonna swoop in by the end, and then they are alive at the end for all of like 30 seconds. You're like, okay, sure.
And like you go like, funny. It's sort of funny that it undercuts it, but then you kind of go, well, wait. If you were going to do that the whole time, why did you spend 30 minutes of them sitting in this like shag-piled room, kissing and smoking next to each other and making googly eyes? Like, to what end?
In a meat locker.
Yeah, that you need to use a horn to get into.
I did like the meat cart she rode in on.
Yeah. But like the fact you have to stop it with a little horn.
Yeah.
That I felt that was odd.
But it felt like they were just going at it in that room for how long?
Days, by the looks of it. Like they were out there for a while.
And they just kept like closing the blinds. Like it's the staff outside just like, oh my God. Like
They're shagging again.
Yeah, I mean, and she just keeps putting on all of her clothes, as does he. And it's like, well, back to sitting at the desk and, couch again.
Maybe it's the foot soldiers that are getting really bored and outside just changing the thermostat. That's why they're complaining about the temperature in there.
Sure.
Yeah, they're just fucking with their boss.
I think they just introduced that, the elderly, like, thrush dude who was wheeled in by the taller woman. I feel like they introduced them purely because they were like, we have nothing for these two to do. They are sitting in this room the entire episode. I know, let's just throw two people in for them to shoot.
It was also bugging me the entire time as to who Peter Mark Richman was until I realized where I knew him from. How quickly did you figure it out? Because I'm sure you did.
He's one of those guys who's like in so many things that I recognized him instantly, but I would have seen him in Friday the 13th 8, but what jumped out to you?
Shock horror, it's Star Trek, but it isn't the original series.
Okay.
He is in the episode The Neutral Zone when they defrost people from like the 20th century and he's like the businessman. He has to check his stocks.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. And he was also in Naked Gun 2.5, so Leslie Nielsen connection there.
I bet they reminisced all about their time working on how to save the world, how to steal the world.
Did they mention it once?
I no.
Did they remember each other from that?
Well, He did kill him.
He did.
That's probably quite funny. Like maybe it's like, hey, I killed you once. Did you? Like back in the 60s? Huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I wonder how many times they've worked together. I'm not going to check this out, but
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, you go through that, Scott, and compare their IMDb pages with their filmographies of 300 credits each.
maybe they've had like loads of stuff together, and they're just like old hands, like best mates. Maybe they're
Probably.
like the you and me of the 1970s. They just spent all their time together.
Do you think they were ever in the same rooms auditioning for things? Because they do have a similar kind of type and feel.
Feel? What are you doing to them in your auditions?
Oh.
I just see if you're the right feel.
It's hot.
Excuse
in here.
me? Oh, it's cold now.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's bright. Bright! My eyes, they burn!
I wish my eyes burned. I wouldn't have to have seen this film. Well, okay, I gave it a like. What's yours?
Well, you'd mentioned the cinematography is one of your likes, and honestly,
Take it.
it was the kind of the visual imagination that popped out at times, like the behind the phone shot that we saw. That was pretty cool because it was used a few times, but putting like some sort of object in front, or using like the glass surface of a table,
Yeah.
to somehow make the shots more interesting. Like you could tell they're really trying to pretty up something pretty dumb, but I was willing to take any sort of visual imagination I could get. I also just honestly like the clearly obvious matte painting of the villain headquarters, but I liked it.
It's just a terminal building at LAX. Did you know that?
But I liked it. Yeah, I know that. Yeah, but you know what? Like, I liked the way they used it. I liked how they had 3 different people fall off of it.
Yeah.
That was exciting as well.
I mean, the health and safety, the OSHA rules at this complex, like they should have really specified if you're going to go onto those high areas, you should have like a belt on or something,
Yeah.
because they all fell off.
It was like little moments like that along the way of just like kind of a visual that I'd go, oh, that's kind of cool. And so it was like the guys falling off LAX, or it was some of the cinematography, or it was also that crane taking out the uncle's car with the hook.
Yeah.
Like, that looked pretty brutal. I have no idea how they got out of it. They didn't really give an answer to that one. But you saw that hook lay waste to that car, and it looked really cool.
Yeah, I mean, this film does a lot of things it doesn't explain, like random foot soldiers just dying.
Yes. Well, they were poisoned by Webb.
I know, but like, why were they dropping like one and then another one 10 minutes later?
Yeah, that I can't answer.
Yeah, it was just they dropped by convenience.
Yes. How did they distribute the poison?
Was there little capsules in their little stormtrooper outfits?
Were they okay? Question about those bad guys.
Sure.
It seemed to be some sort of cult thing.
It felt like a cult. They had robes. Robes generally mean a cult or you're in a spa.
And when Napoleon woke up when he was laying on the ground, another actually fun shot of looking up at the cult members looming over him.
Yeah, I did a few of those down below shots, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like them doing that kind of hand gesture, like almost like kind of like they're praying. So I go, oh, we're doing cults again, because we did cults in the previous Man from U.N.C.L.E. film.
There's a couple of cults, I think, actually.
Yeah. And I thought, okay. But then it never delved into them at all. Like, who were these people? What were they worshiping? Were they people that were being completely misled by the villain? I have no idea.
I mean, contemporarily, or contextually, perhaps I should say, cults were a big thing in the late 60s. The Mansons were around about then. Even like Flint goes up against a cult in his first film.
Yep.
With that island full of people. Yeah, there's quite a few of them. So I guess it makes sense. It's in the zeitgeist. Walking around in white robes with white hoods is probably not the best choice.
No, but like I understand.
Cav's like, no, no.
I understand what like the cult in the previous film wanted. Like it was pretty clear.
Yeah, I don't get like the gas, the sort of. Unfortunately, folks, I read the synopsis, which didn't really tell you the plot. The plot is a bunch of scientists are banded together to develop a gas that, once given out, makes the people who breathe in the gas completely suggestible.
Yeah.
So you can tell them to do anything. So the idea was they were going to put a utopia together, a bunch of people that would be immune or away from the gas, and then they would distribute the gas around the planet and subjugate the human race.
Yeah.
Stealing the world.
Right. Yeah, and you have like Kingsley and his scientist team all wearing red robes.
Uh-huh.
So you assume they're the leaders, but all these people in white, like, were they just like innocent people who got gassed and turned into these like foot soldiers? Like, what happened? And then should I feel bad when I see them being shot and falling off of the LAX because they were just like innocent people that were duped into doing this?
Yeah, was that just someone's like uncle going to work one day? I shouldn't use uncle in an uncle film. Was that
No, you shouldn't.
someone's brother going to work someday and they were just pulled into a van and given some red gas?
Because some of the scientists were like, only doing it because like they had family members that were being threatened.
Yeah. I didn't really dig down into the motivations of it all.
No.
Um,
And they had the time. There's a lot of wasted time in this thing, and you could have had a line or two explaining the villain.
Napoleon stranded on a desert. He's going to walk for a while. Now Ilya's going to go look for him. Now he's going to get stranded. And he's going to walk for a while.
Yeah.
And now they're both captured.
Well, you know that they didn't have a lot to work with because in the two-parter, um, the cut point between the two episodes is when Ilya's helicopter gets shot down.
Yes.
They've landed. It's him and Steve, and then
Oh, I wasn't sure if it was that. I thought it might have been Napoleon falling unconscious.
Nope. It's when Ilya's chopper's on the ground. Him and Steve are like looking at, I don't know, Napoleon's clothes or something.
Yeah.
They blow up the chopper, and Ilya's like, well, I can't remember what he actually says, but it's like something's foul in Denmark or whatever. And then it was like cut credits, and it's like, that's your cliffhanger. Okay, like there's no peril, and that's the thing, there's no peril in any of this. Like there's no menace, no threat to the entire two-parter, but they really didn't have anything to hang a cliffhanger on.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, when you get to episode 2, the first 9 minutes of the episode are just footage from the previous episode. So they have a previously on, which is maybe like 2 minutes, and then they just replay the scene, like 7 minutes of scenes from the previous episode leading into the new footage.
I think it just goes to show they didn't have anything.
Yeah, like this was a desperation move to turn this into a two-parter.
Which would make sense. That's probably why that you had the characters of Mrs. Kingsley and Mr. Webb.
And this has a huge cast. Like a huge cast. Like you've got like the scientist's daughter, you've got all these rando people running around.
That scientist's daughter, like, bothered the hell out of me, I have to say.
Not a great performance.
Not a great performance. Is it an Anna Erickson, Inga Stratton's?
That's right, yes.
Yeah, she was not giving it her all. She's not coming up in my likes, I have to say.
No, and I don't think she had a profound career after this. Whereas the guy who played Steve became like a producer and a director. He produced The Sting. Did you know that?
I didn't. Wow. He had quite a. He stopped in 2008. He's still alive.
Yeah, I mean, he won an Oscar because The Sting won Best Picture. So this guy, Tony Bell, has an Oscar on his mantle.
He became a director.
Yep.
A bunch of TV, Leverage, Monk. Wow. Good for him.
Yeah.
No charisma on screen, but behind the lens, boy, could he put some stuff together.
He produced the Christian Slater romance, Untamed Heart. I mean, come on, people.
Untamed Heart. It's probably better than this.
Probably. This is very tamed.
This is the tamest. Oh, sorry. No, I meant to say lamest. Have you got any more likes for us, Cam?
Not really. I actually, you know what? I did like the abduction of Steve's father at the airport. Where you have him like, you see the shot of him going down the conveyor belt with the luggage.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a really cool shot. And then you see him come out and then grab him. I was like, you know what? That I liked. Like, it's those moments of visual imagination which are throughout the Man from U.N.C.L.E. TV series in the earlier, periods of the show. Not a lot of it here, but every now and again there's a moment where you go, that's pretty cool.
There was a slightly funny moment before that, though, when the actor playing Steve, Tony Bill, or his stunt double, got yeeted down the stairs.
Oh, yeah.
But he kept going. Like there were several pauses where you would have naturally stopped, but he was like, "No, I'm going to roll onto this next step," and kept going, kept going, kept going. It was like John Wick.
That man was giving it all while no one else was on this film.
If that was you, Tony Bill, I salute you.
There's no way that was Tony Bill.
No, well, the stunt double earned that Oscar. You didn't.
Yeah. Tony Bell would not have collected that Oscar in person if he'd done that fall.
Unless there were stairs there, in which case he would have thrown himself down them.
Yes. Going back to that hook sequence, though, I mentioned earlier, hook in the car. So, like, the car's in the air from the hook, right? Dangling. You see the stuntmen for Ilya and Napoleon go out the windows of the car, right?
Yeah.
Then you see the car smash the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the two guys, like, pop up on the ground.
Yeah.
What happened?
It's TV magic, baby.
Yeah, no kidding. They couldn't come up with an answer to that one, could they?
Oh, no. They backed themselves into a corner. I have one final like.
Okay.
And that is I appreciate this film's restraint.
Mm-hmm.
They shot some of this in Hong Kong. Well, it allegedly was in Hong Kong.
Yeah, I was going to say, did they? I don't think so.
It was all in Los Angeles, trust me. But there was no yellow face.
That's true. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. You only live twice. A couple of years before this.
Mm-hmm.
Any of that.
Uh-huh.
This is I mean, it's not pushing the envelope visually, but socially.
Yeah, there was some yellow face in one of the previous Uncle films. Probably Karate Killers, right? It was that one.
I think it was Karate Killers, yeah.
Yeah, I think I can guess that one pretty accurately.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Agents, we don't expect you to talk. We expect you to buy a subscription to our Patreon.
Yee. That's right. Over on the SpyHards Patreon, we're covering all your favorite spy TV shows, as well as popular films from the most iconic secret agent actors of all time.
Cam, why don't you share some intel on our latest assignment?
Folks, come celebrate the close of the spooky season by catching up with our October Halloween spectacular offerings over on the Patreon. We had reviews of The Exorcist II, The Heretic, and Death Becomes Her, as well as we covered the original pilot episode of The X-Files. The truth may be elusive, but extra SpyHards episodes, not so much. Check them all out, folks.
So accept your mission and help support your favorite spy movie podcast at patreon.com/spyhards.
But before we activate the fourth protocol, let's get back to the Spy Jinx.
Okay, dislikes, we've already aired some of our grievances, but let's do some more. I'll start. We've talked about a lack of interest from the actors. I don't need to rehash that. But one thing I want to talk about is the budget.
Yeah.
Now, they've shot on location at LAX. They're doing some bits here that are interesting. And they've built a room for the pillows for those two actors to randomly shag for the whole film.
Uh-huh.
But their budget for, like, poolside, like, lilos and benches was very minimal, apparently. Because there is a scene, and I had to stop and look at this, where Inga Stratton's Anna Erickson sees Napoleon Solo taken out of his cell to another room.
Mm-hmm.
And she is lying on what is a mattress on the floor. It's not covered in a duvet or a throw or anything to jazz it up. It's a straight up mattress, straight out of the mattress factory.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, there were stains on it. I'm like, bro, come on. Like, just at least throw a sheet over it or something. It's so bad.
Yeah, everything about it looked cheap, right? Like that whole pool, you're like, well, they clearly just like rented a house with a pool.
Someone's mansion or something. It's probably Robert Vaughn's mansion. He's counting his uncle money.
Probably, yeah. It just screamed like cheap, and it wasn't imaginative. Like, remember when we did? I'm gonna totally blank on the movie title, but the Alexander the Greater affair.
Sure.
And you had like all these different like locations they went to. Like there was the tombs. There was the pendulum.
I forgot the tombs. Yeah.
Yeah, like there was some really cool visual design going on for locations for the bad guys to try to get one over on our uncles. You had, of course, the giant wine press, things like that.
Who could forget? They used it twice.
Exactly. This one literally just has like 3 actors stand there in very static shots by a pool.
Mm-hmm.
As they're like, okay, well, we've got this swimming pool. I guess that's all the imagination we're gonna put into this one. It just looks so flat.
Yeah. If you told me that Dr. Goldfoot and the Girl Bombs had a bigger budget than this, I'd believe you from the visuals, but I bet you Girl Bombs has a much lower budget than this, and it was more inventive.
Then a TV episode? I don't think so. If it's a TV episode, no.
I don't know.
TV was not given big budgets in the 60s.
Okay, I'll take that back then.
There was a real gap between film and TV.
I mean, and I suppose I do need to temper my expectations a little bit that this is just a TV episode turned into a film. At this point, there is no extra money thrown at these things.
No. And even like think of the villain lairs or control rooms from the previous films we've seen.
This was just a brewery.
It was a brewery, but like think of the main control room where it's just like a table and they open up the back wall and it's just one sad, solitary glass elevator.
And the control panel was just like big red buttons.
It looked like those like almost like whack-a-mole things, like you'd want to hit them in the right order.
It did. Yeah. Was that always your go-to game at the arcade?
No, Ninja Turtles the arcade game, of course.
Well, I mean, you and I did complete the Simpsons version of that last year in Vegas.
Yeah, we did.
Played that to the end.
Yep.
Well, we should track down Turtles because I played that a lot as a kid as well.
Oh yeah, that was a blast. I remember going back to it actually not so long ago at an arcade and finding it far more difficult than I remembered it.
Because like the thing is, as a kid, you had the limited amount of resources, so you really played for it. Whereas as an adult, you're a bit more flippant.
Yeah.
So you'll take bigger risks, but then you'll realize that you're just not as good anymore.
Exactly. Your reaction is not as good in terms of the timing. Yeah.
No. Speaking of not as good, How to Steal the World. Okay, I admit that I'm probably expecting too much of it from a budgetary standpoint, but like the things like the mattress just stand out to me as like, come on, guys, easy wins.
Yeah. And to me, like the control room was so jarring to me, especially after seeing some of the other villain layers and just the ambition of set design. Like that was all gone here.
Yeah. What about you? Something you want to point out?
Something that drove me nuts. The villain in this, Robert Kingsley, is brutal. He's so dull.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like when all is said and done, I don't know that this is my least favorite Uncle film. I don't think so, because I think one of our spies is actively terrible. But like this is the weakest villain we've seen in a Uncle two-parter.
Well, go back to the point I just made about budgets, but fold it into this for a second. They knew this was the end.
Yeah.
Why on earth did everyone not just go, all right, let's just go huge?
But even the casting, it just feels like they were not even casting some of the more fun names. Like when you go back to earlier Uncle seasons, Janet Leigh is showing up as a villainess in one of these movies. Like that is a movie star showing up. And in this one, I mean, Leslie Nielsen, obviously we know him very well because of The Naked Gun, which gave his career this real boost later down the road. But he was kind of like a character actor who popped up in all sorts of things at this time. It wasn't like they were casting a movie star with Leslie Nielsen.
And he'd done like Forbidden Planet and stuff by this point.
Yeah, but that was also more of a cult film than something that made him a big name. It just felt like everything was low wattage. Peter Mark Richman, you're like, okay, like again, dependable character actor on TV, but this is not kind of going big. I think Eleanor Parker as Mrs. Kingsley is probably the most notable because she was the Countess in Sound of Music. But they don't give her anything to do. And that's the other thing. It's like the villains aren't given anything interesting to do. She just sits on a couch, as we've talked about. Barry Sullivan as Kingsley. He's sweaty. I can say that much. He's really sweaty. And there's a lot of real close-ups of his face throughout this. Him and the other scientist as well. I'm not sure why. Kurt Erickson was the other one. Albert Paulsen. But he just seems like a guy who's just kind of like fumbling around, which is not the way to build a menace if you want to have like actual tension or stakes in your two-parter. He seems like someone who's just a complete pushover, and even like when they capture Napoleon, it's like, well, I want him to like listen to my pitch because I want him to be impressed with me. Like, is this the biggest sad sack villain in these two-parters?
I'd have to go back and rewatch the tape, if I'm honest with you.
But at least they had like actual villainous plots
Or
and
like
were
Rip Torn. Like that was not a big performance. It was quite a subtle performance, but like he had scope.
you had Bradford Dillman in one of the last ones, like wanting to launch a rocket and having like a fist fight with Napoleon getting thrown into the rocket and blown up. You had Jack Palance, who was like, all over the place. You had, the villains. I can't remember who the specific villain was in the To Trap a Spy, but I remember they were more effective.
Yeah.
They were like, chaining Napoleon to that pipe with the female, guest star in that one. Like that was really effective. It just felt like this guy was just feckless. He just had nothing to offer, and that's who they built their two-parter around.
We're saying all these things they should have done. Maybe they were all just very tired.
I mean, it seems like it. And Barry Sullivan, he was in a couple good movies. I liked Bad and the Beautiful an awful lot, and he was in Earthquake, but he's not someone who
lights up a screen.
Yeah, he doesn't grab you the way that I think the better uncle villain choices do, but he's also working with a character that is misguided and just kind of like fumbling.
It would make sense if he was answering to Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
Like he was under the thumb of Leslie Nielsen, so he was a sad sack to Leslie Nielsen being insane.
Leslie Nielsen takes over and basically subjugates Kingsley.
Yeah, uses the gas on Kingsley and his people and tells him to finish and begin the attack.
And Kingsley's going, like, this wasn't my plan. I had, better ambitions. I believed in something pure. And they're like, well, that's where you went wrong. But Leslie Nielsen's the dangerous threat they actually have to stop. That would actually work better versus him, like, just pounding buttons at the end, being like, and then blowing up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think I've said it all when it comes to this film, but I have some final notes to talk about.
Oh, well, I've got another dislike. The abundance of characters. Why are we spending so much time with this scientist Erickson, whose daughter is there? Like, what is the purpose of this? Well, you need her to bring Steve into it. Why do you need Steve? I know you need an innocent in these things, but it felt like they were jumping through hoops to introduce all of these side characters who are only taking screen time away from your leads, and none of them were interesting.
Well, I didn't see the point in either of those two characters, though, the daughter or Steve.
I don't either. I mean, I guess you always want like an innocent character. That seems to be kind of the trope of this show, but they didn't find an organic way to work one in. That's for sure.
I think it would have been fine without it, and also she seemed to not like being there.
Yeah,
and and Steve was like, at one point I thought they would, because those two have a little side mission for 10 minutes in the film, where that they end up securing the release of Napoleon and Ilya.
Yeah,
they become our protagonists for a moment. And I was like, is this like a backdoor pilot for something?
The kids from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah, well, I mean, sure.
I mean, you did have the girl from U.N.C.L.E. spun off into something, so why not?
Why not? Maybe it was. Who knows?
Oh, do you think Steve was supposed to be like Uncle the Next Generation?
I feel like it. I feel like he was. Yeah. I feel like that was something because like they spent a lot of time with him.
They did, and they put him in active roles. Like there's
he
the
shot a guy and all sorts of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, they actually had him shoot someone in cold blood without even flinching.
And he climbs up on the scaffolding and kicks that thing and uses a wrench as like a emergency measure. Like a lever. You want to stop machinery. It should be a button, really, or a pulley system. They had like a wrench thing. We had to take the wrench out and then cog it to stop. Like ratchet the cog to stop the machine. That's like the worst emergency stop thing of all time. Also, if it's like an emergency stop thing, you do not put it 20 feet in the air on a pipe.
Was Steve the most active like hero in this story? Because I'm like going through and it's a lot of like Ilya and Napoleon reacting to things, but like Steve is like, you think of that burglar that's in his house that does the amazing dive out the window.
He sprints out that window. He had it in for that window.
And he does not look like a man who would be doing like a dive bomb through a window.
And also, it was like ground floor as well. He had no reason to have to run it at that pace, but
No.
he flew out that window.
But Steve is on his feet pursuing that guy, and he seems to always take an action role throughout this. And yet, like, Napoleon and Ilya are just like standing there staring at each other, bored, while they're about to get shot.
Trying to think what I would call it. Would it be the kids from U.N.C.L.E?
Or is it just Uncle the Next Generation or something?
They hadn't started using the Next Generation yet. We hadn't had Degrassi or Star Trek, so I don't think they would have done that.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know what they would have called
2.0.
No, that's NetSpeak. It wouldn't be that.
Okay.
Uncle the next. No, not Uncle Chapter 2. I don't. Or the next chapter. I don't know.
The kids from U.N.C.L.E works actually.
More Man from Uncle. I don't know.
No, the kids from U.N.C.L E. I'm going with that. I wonder if there is a nugget of truth in there because they gave them a lot of time.
The teens from Uncle.
Kids with a Z.
Backwards Z.
That's very 90s, isn't it? That is.
Yeah.
I think I think that is partly something to do with it because then it would be a lot cheaper. Because I imagine like renewing the contracts for David and Robert was quite expensive.
Yeah.
And those two would not have cost anything.
No, I saw a note I couldn't find confirmation, but it said like, I think, I'm not sure about McCallum, but Robert Vaughn was like the highest paid actor on TV at that point.
I can believe it.
Yeah, you could tell from his enthusiasm.
Just counting his money in the background.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got a couple of notes to talk about. Do you have some?
Yeah, why don't you go first?
Okay. Did you spot the other Trek reference in this film?
Nothing's popping to mind.
When Napoleon finds the desert,
yeah,
he shoots those sequences at Vasquez Rocks.
Yes, I did actually have that in my notes. Yeah,
we needed the same hill where Captain Kirk fights the Gorn. He climbs it. If I can get a side-by-side shot, I'll try and do it.
Yeah, that was actually fun.
Yeah, everyone shot there in the 60s because it was just so cheap to shoot around there. But I'd love to go to Vasquez Rocks at some point.
You know what? I almost did when I was with friend of the show Tyler Orton in California. We had like enough time to do something on our last day there, and we were gonna go to Vasquez Rocks, but it just didn't work quite time-wise to go there and then to the airport. So we just wound up going to the airport. Yeah, it was too bad.
Another year, perhaps.
Another year, who knows?
And then I had never seen until this film the Thrush logo.
Oh, okay.
I'm sure it had featured in other episodes, but I'd never seen it or I'd never caught it in any of the other films. I didn't realize that Thrush's logo was actually a thrush, a bird.
Yeah.
And then I thought, okay, so Spectre has an octopus. Thrush has a bird. What's our Evil Empire logo?
An ostrich with its head in the ground.
Is that to save yourself from rewatching How to Steal the World?
Or it just shows our general sense of obliviousness.
Perhaps so, especially when it comes to programming films at the right time.
Exactly, yes.
I like that. I mean, in my notes, my guess was a condor because of the old joke.
Of course.
Or because of our love of the snowman and the falcon, we could have had a falcon.
Right, yeah. Or, you know what? What about a horse? Taking it back to horse hards.
It's gotta be a horse, you're right. Horse hards is alive, baby. Yeah, it's a stallion.
A particularly dumb-looking horse, though.
Wait, it's a pony, isn't it?
It's a pony. It's that one that's been like going around in circles at like a kid's like farm for decades.
It's Eeyore, isn't it? Basically.
Basically, yes.
It's got a little ribbon on its tail and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that solves that. What about you?
I guess I have a couple things. Number one was the sequence where Napoleon was in the plane that was on fire that he had to escape from. That looked rather cheap as well, where it was like a little bit of fire in the background and the foreground.
Also, the pilot just magically died between shots, if you pay attention. Like the plane got hit by a rocket, and the pilot's still flying the plane, and it changes camera angle, and there's a couple of flames, and the pilot's now dead.
Yes, yes. But I was reminded of the Alexander the Greater affair, where they were like
Mm.
in their car climbing onto a moving plane.
Mm.
And then I was watching this very cheap looking sequence of him on a burning plane going, yep, this is definitely a step down.
You did at least get to see him in a parachute. Worth it for that.
That's true. Well, stock footage of someone in a parachute.
Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it was never actually him.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, Dan O'Hurley showed up in this film as
Mm-hmm.
Steve's father. And he, of course, was the old man in RoboCop and RoboCop 2. And also showed up in Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, as the villain. And he was also in The Last Starfighter as a alien named Grig. So, like, this guy has just worked, or did work, forever. But it's, like, these Uncle movies are often fun where they have, like, kind of a special guest star. And he got the special guest credit. But it's more of a stealth one. I don't know how many people quite recognize him in this.
Well, allow me to one up you there, Cam.
Is he related to the other O'Hurley?
He is the father of Gavin O'Hurley, who of
Yeah.
course played Captain Jack Patacci in Never Say Never Again.
There we go. Yeah. But this guy just had a long career, a lot of stuff, and he's also in the Tamarind Seed, directed by Blake Edwards and starring Julie Andrews, which we'll look at later down the road.
Watch this space. Yeah, it's telling looking at everyone's IMDb that the photo use for both Robert Vaughn and David McCallum are publicity stills from The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah. Yeah.
They never beat this.
You don't think Superman 3 beats this?
Back to Gavin O'Hurley again, are we?
Yeah.
No, I don't think it does. I mean,
No.
I'd say Robert Vaughn has some bigger roles, but I think this is people will always know him as Napoleon, or always knew him as Napoleon Solo.
Yeah. I would have to look up his obituary, but I'd be curious if it said like Man from U.N.C.L.E. star passes, or if it had something else listed first.
What, Superman 3 co-star?
Maybe Bullet. Oh, what about Magnificent Seven?
Yeah, I guess, but he's not the lead.
No, I think like, yeah, it's like supporting turns in Bullet and Magnificent Seven, but I think I'm pretty sure it would have said Man from U.N.C.L.E.
But then, like, David McCallum's would definitely say Man from U.N.C.L.E. star. I wouldn't say The Great Escape star
Oh, what about NCIS? It might have said NCIS actually first.
because of the cultural relevance at the time.
Yeah, and 450 something episodes.
Yeah. Well, I could look this up, but I'm not gonna.
Exactly. It's more fun to just do the brain experiment.
Yeah, let's just think about it. Well, okay. The time has come. The final 1960s Man from U.N.C.L.E. film. The last chance for our boys to make the knock list. They've had one knock list entry and one disavowed. 5 other films have gone nowhere. There is one final mission for them.
That's right.
Can they make the knock list?
Knock list. Knock list. Knock list. Knock list. Knock list. The knock list. Knock list. Knock list. Knock list.
You need to pick a side.
Yes, it's time. Cam, you get the first vote as always. Yay or nay?
This is a nay. I think this is the probably the second worst Man from U.N.C.L.E. film. Although I really think one of our Spies is Missing really did achieve some sort of special quality in its terribleness. But this is just like kind of a slog, and a tired slog at that, of a film / two-parter. And so no, this is not knock list material. I'm very happy that To Trap a Spy was selected early on.
Yep, okay, loud and clear. For me, this film put the no in knock list. Can't believe it's taken me 5 years and I've never used that joke.
Right.
Yeah, it's a no. There's no way. There's just no way. It's no good. There is nothing here to celebrate particularly. We were scrabbling for our likes. But I don't think it's as bad as one of our Spies is Missing.
No, like that one is actually incoherent.
Mm-hmm.
This one you would like, point your finger at it and say like it's just low energy. The stars are kind of checked out. It just has kind of run out of ideas in terms of these kind of Man from U.N.C.L.E. stories.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like offensive to watch. It was just kind of like, The thing was, when I finished it, I was like, I am totally gonna forget a lot of what happened in this film like a year from now.
I've already started to forget.
It's not as memorable as like the wacky stuff even in the season 3 two-parters.
I missed the little robots that fired rockets.
Sure, yeah.
Wacky. But there you go. 2 no's. It's not making the knock list. Dossier on the 60s Man from U.N.C.L.E. era is complete and filed as classified. Well, that wraps us up for The Man from U.N.C.L.E. I guess for now, Cam?
Well, to be continued if we are to flash forward to the 1980s TV movie, but we have to determine how we tackle that one later down the road.
And sometimes I think, absence makes the heart grow fonder. We've spent close to 2 years talking about our uncles.
And my heart is so cold at this point.
It's dead. My heart was pretty black before.
Just call me Mr. Freeze, baby.
So yeah, mate, I just want to take a break. We're going on a break. Okay, we're not breaking up. We're just going to see other people for a little while and see how we feel about the situation. Okay.
It's not Uncle, it's us.
Exactly. And if you guys want us to do the 80s film real quick, we will. But I think you all wouldn't mind a break and maybe a new franchise.
Yeah, and we've got a few others to tackle, and Uncle takes up a lot of real estate. So
it does. And those letters for the Boss Baby films keep coming in.
People, please, we get it. Boss Baby is what you want. You don't want Bond anymore. You've said
no
more Bond, all baby, all the time.
They're Bond babies now.
That's right. Yeah.
That is going to happen someday, folks. Just strap in for that.
We'll see if we do a Cats and Dogs combined part 2 and 3 into one episode kind of thing.
I could see that potentially happening before you all hit unsubscribe.
Yeah, and we'll debate how to handle the Despicable Me films as well.
Do we handle them by throwing them out the window?
Banana.
Oh God, well, I won't be handling that with care. But that's that mission finished. But we have a new mission, as we always do. Next week, Cam, what are we talking about?
Well, Scott, this film that we just tackled was called How to Steal the World. You know who else tried to steal the world?
Pinky and the Brain.
Hitler. That's who.
Oh. Often combined, Hitler and Brain.
So for the next episode, we are going to take a look at a World War II espionage romantic thriller. Combine all those together, and this is what you get. The 1992 drama Shining Through, starring Michael Douglas and Melanie Griffith. And this one's curious, where it's a star-studded 1990s film set in World War II. A time of, the great drama and romance and all that kind of thing when it comes to the films. Very sweeping. But Hitler. But no one actually mentions this movie anymore.
Folks, Cam just did his darndest to sell the film to you. And he hasn't even really, said much more about it. We'll save that to next week. But yeah, it's interesting. There's not a big conversation about it online.
No.
And you'd think there would be.
And we stumble across all the time movies from the 50s, 60s, 70s.
We're tripping over them. They're everywhere. Cam, sweep up.
That's right. And we find these oddities that people have forgotten, but they tend to be from past eras. Like 1990s, you don't often stumble across one that feels like it's forgotten.
Yeah, the last one we had that's kind of up this street was Bad Company, I'd say.
That's a great comparison. We'll see if the quality is along the same lines.
But yeah, great cast, and we actually might just have a Spy Master interview for the film as well.
Yeah, and and some people may be thinking okay, Shining Through, what does that mean to me? But just a hint that the person who we'll be talking to populates some of your favorite movies out there as well.
Yeah, small part in this film, larger parts in others. But your mission, folks, should you choose to accept it, is to join us next week as we shine through to the 1990s to check out Shining Through, to talk about an era that wasn't particularly all that shiny.
That's right.
It's quite dark, as far as I've been told.
I mean, the history books don't speak that fondly of it.
They don't. But will the history books speak fondly of Shining Through? Will we speak fondly of it? Find out next week. Thank you all for tuning in, and over the last couple of years, thank you all for tuning in and checking out our discussions on The Man from U.N.C.L.E. We've had a lot of people that come in from all the Man from U.N.C.L.E. websites and fan groups on Facebook. Thank you all for coming aboard to check out these episodes. Hope you've had a good time diving into the history of The Man from U.N.C.L.E. with all the guests we've had along the way as well. Thank you all for joining in. If you want to help support the show, come and find us on Patreon, patreon.com/SpyHards. A bunch of bonus episodes. If you combine that with the episodes we've got out on the main feed, there's over 500 episodes of SpyHards out there. Whew.
Yeah, that is a lot, but I guarantee every single one of them is a gem.
And we've just had a slew of new patrons join us, so I mean, it's the perfect time. Come and get your fill. We just did a Halloween special all last month. This month we're dedicating to Robert Redford on the Patreon. So yeah, all to check out. Come and join us there, and join us on social media at SpyHards, SpyHards, wherever you get your social media. You'll find us talking about some obscure spy movie, I'm sure.
I mean, where else are you going to find discussion of movies like Rocket Attack USA?
Or pictures of me in a Condor Man mask.
That too.
But until next time, folks, you'll find Cam and I canvassing the crevices of Vasquez rocks, hunting some Gorn, of course, and also trying to find Napoleon Solo's long-lost jacket.
This podcast is part of Podomedy, the UK's podcast comedy network. Why not laugh at what else we've got? Visit podomedy.com.